Welcome back, collectors and treasure hunters. Imagine holding a tiny copper coin in your hand, no larger than a bottle cap, yet it's worth more than a luxury car, a mansion, or even a private island. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden world of American coinage, where everyday Lincoln cents have stunned collectors and made history by selling for millions of dollars. Grab your coin jars, check your piggy banks, and brace yourself, because this is the top 5 most valuable rare USA Lincoln 1-cent pennies that are worth millions. Let's begin our countdown. Today's fascinating episode, we are going to dive deep into a coin that might be lying unnoticed in your pocket, in an old jar, or hidden away in your attic, the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Don't let its ordinary appearance fool you. Some rare versions of this penny have shocked collectors and sold for jaw-dropping amounts, as high as $45,990 in the current market. That's right, a single penny worth nearly $46,000. So stay tuned, because this video could change the way you look at pocket change forever. Let's begin with a quick look at the background of the Lincoln Cent series. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin originally had wheat ears on the reverse, hence the name, Wheat Penny. Then in 1959, to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday, the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, the design we still associate with the Lincoln Memorial cent. Now let's fast forward to the year 1977. This was a time of economic challenges, the tail end of the Vietnam War era, and rising inflation in the United States. In terms of coin production, the U.S. Mint continued making billions of pennies for circulation. Specifically, in 1977, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 4.4 billion Lincoln cents. Unlike coins minted in Denver or San Francisco, Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark at the time. That's why you may see a 1977 penny with no letter under the date, and that is completely normal for Philadelphia coins. However, some of these coins are not so ordinary. Most 1977 Lincoln cents are worth only face value in circulated condition. But here's the twist. Some rare 1977 pennies with unique errors or in exceptional condition have fetched thousands of dollars in auctions. One such specimen in pristine condition, known as a mint state, or MS coin, sold for a record-breaking $45,990. You may be wondering, what could possibly make a tiny copper coin from the 70s so valuable? Let's break it down. The value of the 1977 no-mint mark penny comes down to 3 major factors: condition, rarity, and errors. First, let's talk about condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the number, the more flawless the coin. A coin graded MS 67 or higher is considered superb and can sell for thousands. Most coins in circulation are worn down by use, but a 1977 penny found in MS 67 plus condition with blazing red luster is extremely rare. Collectors crave these because of their perfect appearance and historical context. Next, there's rarity. Even though billions of 1977 pennies were made, only a very small number survive in top grades. Over time, most coins get scratched, discolored, or damaged. The ones that escape this fate and remain virtually untouched for decades are the ones that demand premium prices. Then we have mint errors. Some 1977 pennies are worth a fortune due to fascinating mistakes made during production. For example, double die errors, where the coin design is stamped more than once and appears doubled. These can be seen most easily in the date, or in the words, Liberty, and In God We Trust. Another error to watch for is off-center strikes, where the design is shifted and part of the coin appears blank. There are also die cracks, cuds, clipped planchets, and even transitional errors. Any of these mistakes can boost the value of your penny significantly, depending on severity and visibility. So what should you look for in a 1977 penny? Check for these signs. No mint mark under the date. Remember, this is normal for Philadelphia coins' bright red color. Red pennies are more valuable than brown or red-brown ones. No visible wear. A sharp strike with no scratches or wear could mean MS grade doubling in the date. lettering, or Lincoln's face-off center design or misalignment raised. Lumps or unusual shapes on the coin's surface. If you suspect your coin is something special, the best next step is to have it professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. A professional appraisal can determine whether your penny is an average piece or a hidden treasure. Now, let's go back to that record-breaking sale. In one auction, a 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln cent in mint state 67 plus red condition sold for $45,990. That's the kind of payday most people wouldn't expect from a 1-cent coin. This sale wasn't just a fluke. Collectors are constantly seeking high-grade Lincoln cents to complete their sets, and they are willing to pay big money to get them. Current market values for the 1977 no-mint mark penny vary depending on condition: circulated condition, brown 1 cent to 10 cents, red brown condition in AU or XF grade, 25 cents to $1 red condition in MS60 to MS65, $5 to $50 MS66 red, $75 to $150 MS67 red, $500 to $2,000 plus MS67 plus red or with rare errors, $5,000 to $45,990 or even higher, depending on collector interest. So don't overlook those pennies you find in pocket change, in coin rolls from the bank, or in old family coin collections. A rare and valuable 1977 Lincoln penny could be hiding in plain sight. Before we wrap up, here are a few tips for storing and protecting your coins. Always handle coins by the edges, not the face. Store them in acid-free holders or plastic flips. Keep them away from moisture and humidity. Never clean them. Cleaning a coin destroys its numismatic value, and there you have it. The story behind the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. From a humble copper coin to a collector's dream worth nearly $46,000, this piece of American history proves that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more rare coin videos, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload. Comment below if you've ever found an unusual penny or inherited a coin collection. You never know, your story could be featured in our next video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting and good luck with your next big find. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's episode dives into one of the most surprising and often overlooked coins in American history, the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. You may have this coin lying around in your old drawer, tucked into a jar of change, or hidden in a coin collection. But did you know that this simple penny, if rare and in the right condition, could be worth as much as $45,399 today? Yes, you heard that right, over $45,000 for a coin that most people would walk right past. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's uncover the fascinating history, value, and investment potential of the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. Let's begin with the origin of the coin. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1909, when it was introduced to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse side featured Lincoln's bust and has remained largely unchanged for over a century. Now, fast forward to 1981, a year before a significant transition in penny composition. In 1981, pennies were still being made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that made them more valuable just based on their metal content. However, in 1982, the U.S. Mint shifted to a copper-plated zinc composition due to the rising cost of copper. That makes the 1981 pennies the last full year of the original copper content, adding an extra layer of collector interest. The 1981 Lincoln cent was struck at 3 major mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark at that time. That means if your penny says 1981, but has no letter under the date, no D for Denver or S for San Francisco, then it was made in Philadelphia. Now you might ask, what makes the 1981 no mint mark penny so valuable? Here's the catch: while millions of these were produced, only a tiny fraction are in exceptional condition, and some contain rare errors that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. That's where the magic happens. Let's break it down. First, the condition. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A standard circulated 1981 penny with no mint mark might be worth 1 cent to maybe a few dollars. But if your coin is in mint state condition, especially graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, it becomes highly sought after. Now for the jackpot. One particular 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cent in mint state 67 red condition sold for an astonishing $45,399 at auction. Yes, a single penny reached that price point due to its near-perfect condition, pristine luster, sharp strike, and strong eye appeal. Next up, let's talk about valuable varieties and mint errors. Some 1981 pennies have die cracks, doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other rare manufacturing errors that dramatically increase their value. The double die obverse is especially rare. This is where the lettering, date, or Lincoln's features are slightly doubled due to a misalignment in the die during minting. If you spot doubling in the word, Liberty, or In God We Trust, you might have something special. Additionally, some coins are known as transitional errors, coins struck on the wrong metal planchet, or with a mix of features from two different minting years. For example, a 1981 penny mistakenly struck using a 1982 zinc blank would be incredibly rare and command a high price at auction. Here's how you can check your 1981 no mint mark penny for value. Check for the mint mark. Make sure there's no D or S under the date. Look at the condition. Is it scratched or clean? Worn or shiny? Use a magnifier. Look closely for doubling, cracks, or unusual markings. Weigh the coin. A 1981 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's lighter, it may have been struck on a zinc planchet by mistake, a major rarity. Get it graded. If you think your coin is in great condition, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade makes all the difference in value. Let's talk about market trends and current value. As of today, in 2025, the market for high-grade Lincoln cents is booming. Collectors are paying a premium for pristine and rare examples from common years, especially those just before a metal composition change like the 1981 penny. Circulated 1981 no mint mark pennies usually go for around 1 to 10 cents. Uncirculated examples, MS60 to MS64, range from $2 to $25. High-grade uncirculated MS65 to MS66 red coins may fetch $50 to $500 depending on eye appeal. Mint state 67 red examples, verified by a grading service, can sell for $5,000 to $10,000. Top pop, highest known grade examples have crossed the $45,000 mark, like the one sold at auction recently. These values fluctuate depending on collector demand, precious metal prices, and the rarity of the condition or error involved. Keep an eye on auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections to track live sales and value trends. Let's wrap up with a few collector tips. Always store your coins in a dry, protective holder. Coin flips, capsules, or albums help prevent tarnishing and scratching. Don't clean your coins. Cleaning can lower the value significantly. Visit coin shows or connect with numismatics communities online to get opinions on your finds. Use a coin scale and caliper to measure your penny if you suspect an error. If you come across a coin you think is valuable, consider submitting it for professional grading, especially if it's from 1981 and in amazing condition. In conclusion, the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny may look ordinary, but in the world of numismatics, it's anything but. With a chance to be worth thousands, and even up to $45,399 if you have a top-graded or rare error version, this penny proves that history and value can be hiding in plain sight. So the next time you dig through your pocket change or family coin jar, don't ignore the humble penny. It might just change your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on valuable coin content. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare penny, and let us know what other coins you want us to cover next. Until next time, keep hunting. Your fortune might be just one penny away. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and valuable pennies ever struck in modern U.S. history, the 1983 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This ordinary-looking coin, if you're lucky enough to find the rare version, could be worth as much as $33,949. So stick around because what you're about to learn might just make you check every penny you own. Let's get started. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, has been one of the most iconic American coins since it was first minted in 1909. Originally introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head cent and quickly became one of the most widely circulated coins in the United States. Now, the 1983 Lincoln penny comes with a twist. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary coin you'd find in your pocket. A copper-plated zinc penny with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But here's where the story takes an exciting turn. Not all 1983 pennies are created equal. To understand why this coin can be worth thousands, we need to look at the changes that occurred in 1982. That year, the U.S. Mint transitioned from making pennies out of 95% copper and 5% zinc to making them from a cheaper composition of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. The reason? The rising cost of copper made it more expensive to mint pennies than the coin's actual face value. So in 1983, all pennies were officially made from zinc cores with a thin copper coating. However, mistakes happen at the U.S. Mint, and in rare cases, those mistakes are worth a fortune. In 1983, a small number of pennies were mistakenly struck on copper planchets instead of the intended zinc ones. These rare off-metal error coins are known as 1983 copper pennies, and they are the holy grail for Lincoln cent collectors. They look just like regular pennies, but their weight is different. A zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams, while a copper penny from before 1982 weighs 3.11 grams. So if you have a 1983 penny and it weighs 3.11 grams, you may be holding a rare and incredibly valuable coin. So how can you identify the valuable version of the 1983 no-mint mark penny? Here's what to look for. First, flip the coin and check for a no-mint mark, meaning it was minted in Philadelphia. Second, weigh the coin using a precision digital scale. If the coin weighs around 3.11 grams, you might be in luck. Third, examine the coin's condition. Coins in mint state, MS65 or higher, are the most valuable. Finally, for confirmation, it's best to have the coin authenticated by a reputable grading company such as PCGS or NGC. Now, let's talk about value. A verified 1983 no-mint mark Lincoln penny struck on a copper planchet has sold at auction for an eye-watering $33,949. That's right, a single penny worth more than a brand new car, simply because it was struck on the wrong metal. Even lesser condition examples of this rare error have sold for several $1,000s. If the coin is in near-perfect condition, you can expect even higher prices depending on demand and the grading. But that's not the only valuable variety from 1983. There's also the famous 1983 double die reverse (DDR) penny. This variety features strong doubling on the reverse lettering, especially in the words 1 cent and E pluribus unum. These double die error pennies can fetch hundreds or even thousands depending on condition. So when checking your 1983 pennies, it's important to check both the weight and look for any visible doubling on the reverse side. Let's also take a moment to appreciate the history and design of this iconic coin. On the obverse side, we have Victor David Brenner's original design featuring Abraham Lincoln in profile. It's the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. The reverse side, introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. While this reverse was later replaced in 2009 with various new designs, the memorial design still holds a nostalgic place in collectors' hearts. The 1983 no-mint mark penny is part of that important transitional period in U.S. coinage history, the early zinc era, and the fact that it includes rare and valuable mint errors makes it one of the most exciting coins for modern collectors. Now, If you're wondering where to find one of these rare coins, here are a few tips. Check your old penny jars and piggy banks, especially those with coins saved from the 1980s. Visit local coin shops and flea markets. Buy unsearched penny rolls from banks or sellers. You never know what treasure might be hiding inside. Participate in online auctions, but be cautious and always buy from trusted dealers. To wrap it up, the 1983 no mint mark Lincoln cent might look like any other penny. But if it was struck on a copper planchet instead of zinc, its value skyrockets. With a potential market value of $33,949, this tiny coin is a true hidden gem. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, always take the time to weigh and inspect your coins. That 1 second of curiosity could lead to a life-changing discovery. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video on rare and valuable US coins. And as always, keep hunting and happy collecting. You never know what might be sitting right in your pocket. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's video is going to absolutely blow your mind, especially if you've ever had a 1995 Lincoln penny sitting quietly in a drawer, in your pocket change, or even forgotten in a coin jar. Why? Because we're diving deep into the world of the 1995 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that could be hiding in plain sight and worth as much as $23,477 today. Let's start with the basics. The 1995 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which first began back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. By 1995, this coin had already seen nearly a century of circulation. But one tiny mistake during minting that year changed everything for collectors. While millions of these pennies were struck and released, a small number came out with a very rare and unusual error. And those errors have made them incredibly valuable. Most 1995 pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. The ones from Philadelphia come with no mint mark under the year, just like the one we are talking about. But among the 1995 Philadelphia pennies, some featured a double die error. This error, now famously known as the 1995 double die obverse, is what gives these coins their massive value today. So, what exactly is a double die? A double die happens when the die, which is the stamp used to press the design onto a coin, is created with a slight misalignment during production. When this happens, the design gets duplicated slightly, and it creates a visual doubling effect. On the 1995 penny, this doubling appears most clearly on the inscriptions: the word Liberty, the date 1995, and the motto "In God We Trust." If you look closely and you see a shadowy doubling of the letters, especially in Liberty, then you might just be holding a gold mine. Back in the day, these coins circulated like any other. People used them for buying candy, groceries, or simply tossed them in piggy banks. Very few people realized they had something special. But when collectors and dealers started spotting the doubling in late 1995 and early 1996, everything changed. Coin experts confirmed that it was a genuine mint error, and its popularity exploded in the numismatic world. Let's talk about how rare this coin really is. It's estimated that around 500,000 to 1 million of these double die pennies made it into circulation. That might sound like a lot, but considering that billions of Lincoln cents are minted each year, this error version is still quite scarce. And what makes them even more desirable is how few of them have survived in mint state condition. Now, if you think you have one of these coins, you should definitely take a closer look. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and carefully inspect the coin. Look for that distinct doubling on the letters and numbers. If you do see it, don't rush to spend it. This coin could be worth far more than 1 cent over the years. Collectors have paid hundreds, even thousands of dollars for well-preserved examples of this coin. But recently, the market for these era coins has seen a huge surge. In a recent auction, a flawless mint state 1995 no mint mark double die penny sold for a jaw-dropping $23,477. That's right, a single penny sold for the price of a new car, simply because of a minor error that happened in the minting process. So why do collectors value this coin so much? It's a combination of factors. First, it's an obvious visible error. You don't need special equipment to see the doubling. It's right there if you know where to look. Second, it comes from a very modern era. Unlike coins from the 1800s or early 1900s, the 1995 penny is something that could realistically still be found in your change. And third, the coin has become iconic among collectors. It's often featured in guides, coin lists, and YouTube videos just like this one. So, what should you do if you find one? Step 1. Don't clean it. Cleaning coins can destroy their value. Step 2. Get it authenticated. You can send your coin to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. They will inspect the coin, confirm whether it's a true double die variety, and give it a grade. The higher the grade, the more valuable your coin will be. For example, circulated examples in average condition might be worth between $20 to $50, which is still a great return for a penny. But uncirculated coins graded MS65 or higher are where the real money is. These can fetch prices from $1,000 to $5,000. And like we said earlier, the best known examples have sold for as much as $23 for 77. Let's do a quick recap before we wrap up. The 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny is part of a common coin series, but the rare double die variety is what makes it special. Look for clear doubling in Liberty and I in God we trust. If you find it, you could be looking at a small fortune. These coins are gaining value every year, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for pristine examples. Always inspect your change. You never know when a 1-cent coin could change your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more coin collecting secrets, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on valuable updates. Drop a comment below if you think you might have one of these pennies or if you've ever found a rare coin in your own collection. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking your pocket change. Your next big treasure might be just a penny away. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into one of the most surprising and valuable modern pennies you could ever stumble upon, the 2016 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. Believe it or not, this little copper-colored coin, which you might easily overlook in your change jar or wallet, could be worth a jaw-dropping $20,000 or more. That's right. A single 2016 penny, not from the 1800s or early 1900s, from just a few years ago, could make you rich overnight. Let's explore how and why. First, let's take a step back and understand the basics. The 2016 Lincoln penny is part of the modern era of U.S. coins. It features the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has endured since 1909. On the reverse, we have the Union Shield, introduced in 2010 as the new back design, symbolizing unity and strength. Now, most 2016 pennies you'll come across were minted in either Philadelphia or Denver. The ones minted in Denver have a small D mint mark under the ear. However, pennies minted in Philadelphia traditionally don't have a mint mark at all. So when you find a 2016 penny with no mint mark, it's usually from the Philadelphia Mint. But, and here's where things get very interesting, not all 2016 no mint mark pennies are created equal. A very small number of these coins were struck with unique errors or in exceptionally high quality conditions. And those are the ones that are making headlines in the coin collecting world. Some were struck using misaligned dies, double dies, or were created on off-metal planchets. Others were simply preserved in pristine condition, never handled by human hands, and graded as MS69 or even MS70 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. These are the coins that have turned an ordinary penny into a $20,399 treasure. So what makes one of these 2016 no mint mark pennies worth thousands? Let's break it down. First, condition matters more than you think. A coin in circulated condition, something that's been in people's pockets or spent at a gas station, will usually only be worth face value. But an uncirculated or mint state coin with a grade of MS67 or higher can demand serious money at auction. One such 2016 penny with no mint mark, graded MS69 read by PCGS, sold for a staggering $20,399. That's not a myth, it's a verified public record. Second, errors and varieties are key. Certain 2016 pennies with no mint mark were struck with doubling in the inscriptions, especially in the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date. Others were struck off-center or on the wrong metal planchet, such as a dime or foreign coin blank. These rare and visually interesting mint errors can fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Another aspect to consider is rarity. While the U.S. Mint produced over 4.5 billion pennies in 2016, only a tiny fraction of them were struck with errors or kept in flawless condition. Out of billions, only a handful received top-tier grades from grading services. And collectors love scarcity. When demand meets rarity, values soar. If you think you might have a valuable 2016 no mint mark penny, here's what you need to do. First, examine the coin under good lighting. Look closely at the lettering and the date. Any signs of doubling or unusual defects could mean it's an error coin. Next, check the condition. Is the surface free of scratches, nicks, or discoloration? Does it still have its original red luster? If so, it might be worth sending to a grading service for authentication. Here's a quick list of what to look for. No mint mark under the year 2016, strong luster, and no signs of circulation. Signs of doubling in letters or numbers, striking errors like off-center images or die cracks, planchet errors or unusual coloration. Now, let's talk about the current market value. As of today, a regular circulated 2016 no mint mark penny is worth about 1 cent, maybe up to 10 cents if it's in good condition and someone wants it for their collection. However, an uncirculated one in mint state red condition could be worth between $5 and $30. And if it's graded MS67 or higher, the value jumps dramatically. But here's the golden ticket. A 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny graded MS69 red has been sold for over $20,399 at auction. These coins are incredibly rare and highly sought after by serious collectors and investors alike. Before we wrap up, remember this: treasure isn't always buried. Sometimes, it's jingling in your pocket or sitting forgotten in a jar at home. The next time you receive change or dig through your coin collection, take a moment to look closely at your pennies. That ordinary-looking 2016 cent could be your unexpected jackpot. So there you have it. The incredible story of the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin you might have thought was worthless, now possibly worth more than a car. Keep your eyes open, stay curious. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next lucky collector to strike copper gold. If you enjoyed this video and want more valuable coin tips and rare finds, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you think you might have one of these valuable 2016 pennies. Thanks for watching and happy collecting! Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's video might just make you dig deep into your piggy bank or coin jar because we're uncovering the incredible story and shocking value behind a seemingly ordinary coin, the 2020 no mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny. You might think that modern coins aren't worth much more than their face value, but you'd be wrong. Some of these 2020 Lincoln pennies have sold for as high as $14,187. Yes, you heard that right, over $14,000 for a penny minted just a few years ago. Stay tuned because we'll break down the coin's history, explain why it's so valuable, how to identify the rare ones, and what makes them worth a fortune in today's market. The history of the 2020 Lincoln penny. Let's begin with a bit of background. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, first introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Over the decades, the design and metal composition have changed, but Lincoln's portrait remains the longest-running design in U.S. coin history. In 2020, the U.S. Mint continued the modern version of the Lincoln Shield reverse design, which began in 2010. On the obverse, we still have the familiar bust of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse features a Union shield with the inscription, 1 cent, across it, representing the preservation of the United States as a single union. The 2020 pennies were struck at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia minted coins come with no mint mark, which is typical for pennies struck there. So, if your coin has no mint mark just under the date, it most likely came from Philadelphia. What makes the 2020 and no mint mark penny so valuable? Now here's the big question: why is a penny minted so recently worth thousands of dollars? The answer lies in errors and condition. Most 2020 pennies in circulation are worth 1 cent, maybe slightly more if they're in brilliant uncirculated condition. But some rare versions of the 2020 no mint mark penny contain mint errors, small mistakes that occurred during the coin's manufacturing process at the US Mint. These mistakes can make the coin rare and highly collectible. Some of the most valuable errors found on 2020 pennies include off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned; die cracks, where the die that strikes the coin has cracked, leaving lines or raised areas on the coin; double die obverse (DDO), where the design elements, especially the lettering or Lincoln's face, appear doubled. BI error. A small vertical die break between the B and E in Liberty. Struck through errors, where debris or a foreign object causes part of the design to be missing or distorted. And of course, another huge factor is the coin's grade or condition. Coins that are uncirculated or in mint state condition, especially those graded MS67 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, are extremely rare. Combine that with a dramatic mint error, and you're looking at a coin that could be worth thousands. So how much have these 2020 no mint mark pennies actually sold for? Here's the shocking part. In a recent online auction, a 2020 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a dramatic double die obverse error in mint state 67 red condition sold for an astounding $14,187. That's one of the highest prices ever recorded for a modern penny. Collectors are willing to pay big money for modern era coins when they're in pristine condition and verified by a grading authority. Other 2020 era pennies have sold for between $50 and $1,000, depending on the type of error and the condition. How to check your 2020 pennies? Here's how you can potentially find a valuable 2020 penny in your own change. First, pull out all your 2020 Lincoln cents and sort them by condition. The shinier, the better. Look for ones with no wear in full detail. Then, use a magnifying glass or coin loop to check for possible errors. Look at Lincoln's face, especially his eye, nose, and chin. Check the words "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. See if any of the letters or numbers look doubled, misshapen, or cracked. Also check the reverse, the shield side, for any unusual markings, missing elements, or misalignments. If you spot something that looks off, compare it to online photos of known errors. You can also take clear pictures and share them with online coin communities or professional graders for a second opinion. If you believe your 2020 no mint mark penny might be valuable, consider submitting it for grading. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate the coin and assign it a numerical grade. Graded coins are much easier to sell and often fetch much higher prices at auctions. Keep in mind, grading fees usually start around $30 to $50 per coin, so make sure the coin has enough potential value to justify the cost. If your coin has a strong error and is in uncirculated condition, it may absolutely be worth grading. So, what's the takeaway from all this? While most 2020 pennies are only worth 1 cent, a very small number, especially those with rare mint errors in pristine condition, are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, with the top-tier coin fetching $14,187 at auction. That means every time you get change from a store, go to a coin jar, or dig through your couch cushions, you could potentially uncover a coin worth a fortune. Check your 2020 pennies carefully. Look for doubling, cracks, missing designs, or off-center strikes. And if you think you've found something special, don't hesitate to research further or consult a professional. The next time you pick up a penny, it might just change your life. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting coin discoveries, history, and rare finds. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. especially if you love making money from coins hiding in plain sight. Until next time, keep checking your change, because you never know what treasure might be waiting in your pocket.